All right, guys, so we're going to be going through your Elements of Art packet. So the first thing you're going to do is make sure that your name is on this first page, okay? So we're going to start with color, arguably my favorite element of all time. So, color comes from light. If it weren't for light, we would have no color. And a common misconception is that when we look at something, the light rays that are being absorbed are not the actual color that we see. So for instance, on this green tub, every color is being absorbed except for the color green. That light is being reflected. That's how we see color. Okay, then we've got these color families. We've got primary, secondary, intermediate, complementary. And then we've got these color harmonies. We call these color schemes in this class. We've got analogous, triadic, monochromatic, warm, and cool colors. You guys are experts on warm and cool. So it's just the other two we gotta work on. Go ahead and turn this page over. And in this space, you are going to be drawing a color wheel. So I'm gonna help you get started on how to build your color wheel. And for this unit, the one that we're getting ready to start with landscape paintings, or we might have already finished it depending on when you're watching this video, you might have already filled out your color wheel, so it should be easy. So we're gonna start with our primary colors. They are 3 circles connected by a triangle. We're gonna put yellow at the top. We're gonna put blue and red. Okay, and these are our primary colors. So I'm gonna denote that with a P. Okay, in between our primary colors, we have our secondary colors. This is an upside down triangle. Okay, go ahead and get that filled in. And then how do we know where to fill them in? Well, when I mix blue and yellow together, what color do I get? I get green. I'm gonna put an S for a secondary color. It takes 2 primaries to make a secondary. In between blue and red, I think this is great. It takes KU colors to make K-State colors. So that's purple or violet. Again, this is a secondary color. In between yellow and red, we've got orange. Now, our last set here is our tertiary colors. I want you to practice saying that, tertiary. Say it in your head, tertiary, tertiary. Okay, tertiary, the root word is 3, try. Okay, so it's gonna be a primary plus a secondary, and it tells you where it lives. So this one is yellow-green. Make sure you don't put green-yellow, it's yellow-green. And this is a tertiary color. So we've got another tertiary between green and blue. It is blue-green. In between blue and violet, you guessed it, blue-violet. Again, these are tertiaries, that's why I'm labeling the T. In between red and violet, we've got red-violet. You'll notice that I'm always putting the primary color's name first. Between red and orange, we've got red-orange. Again, that's a tertiary. And in between yellow and orange, we've got yellow-orange. Tertiary color. Okay, so go ahead and get that filled in. If you have extra time, you can add your colors on, but we're not gonna take more time to do that. Just if you're waiting right now, you got your words filled in quickly, you can add in the colors. You might not get to all of them. Okay, so that is color. We love color. You guys are doing great. Make sure you're keeping up with the progress on here. I have some example packets at the table if you get lost. Next up, we've got line. The way we can describe line is with the width, the length, the direction, the focus, or the feeling. We've got all different kinds of lines, and below, we're gonna draw some lines and make up some words for them. So let's try this first one. How would you describe that line? Is it thick or thin, long or short, the direction, the feeling? Okay, I'm gonna call this a zigzag line. A zigzag line. Okay, next up. That's a wavy line. You could also call it curly, curvy, thin. Okay. Let's do let's call it a broken line because there's little spots that are missing from it. So if I'm doing it up here on my packet, you are doing it at your table on your packet. Okay, it's a straight line. Again, it's thin. It's also vertical. So I'm talking about the direction there. It's up and down, vertical line. And then the last one we'll look at is a curved line. Okay, so we don't all have to use the same words to describe them, but these indicators will help you know how to describe them. Is it sharp? Is it blurry? Is it jagged? Okay, so those are your to-dos online. Okay, make sure you've got 5 examples down and you've described them. You will be turning this packet in through pictures of every page, so make sure you're not getting behind. So that's line. I'm gonna go ahead and flip that page to shape now. Shapes are either geometric or organic. And we're also gonna look at positive and negative space. So in box 1, we're gonna use geometric shapes. Here are some examples of some geometric shapes. I've got a triangle, a circle, rectangle, other ones that we like to use, a rhombus, diamond shape. Okay, and I'm gonna copy those same shapes in the same arrangement down below. Okay, so these are our geometric shapes. So I'm gonna label this geometric, geometric, math shapes. Okay, for this one, on this side here, I'm gonna write positive, because we're gonna do positive space. And down here, I'm gonna write negative. Okay, next up, we wanna do organic shapes. Organic shapes are shapes from the earth. Okay, so I might do a leaf shape, freeform shape, a little blobby blob, that's my fave, and a cloud. Again, I'm gonna copy that same composition down here below. Okay, so we've got our shapes copied in. Now we have to look at positive and negative space. A lot of you guys learned about this when you were in elementary school, which is amazing. Okay, so we're gonna start with that positive space. So for positive space, I'm coloring inside the object. That's positive space. Doesn't have to be perfect. We're going fast. Positive space on the organic shapes means the same thing. Coloring inside the shape. And then we're gonna look at negative space. You guys are brilliant humans. What do you think is gonna happen here? We're gonna color around the shapes. So negative space is when the background has the color and the actual shape is not colored. No judgment on your coloring skills. So we've got positive and negative, geometric and organic. Okay, so go ahead and get that filled in for me. So that's shape. Color, line, and shape are the most basic of all elements of art. You guys are, again, really, really good at learning about those. And you already know them, which is fabulous. Okay, once you've gotten your shapes filled in, positive, negative, geometric, organic, math shapes, earth shapes, we're gonna turn that page. Let's talk about space. Check, check, we already did positive and negative space. We're gonna look at the picture plane, composition, and a couple of these perspective aspects you used in your landscape paintings, which is nice. So perspective and creating space is where we take something that's 2-dimensional, like a piece of paper, and we make it look 3-dimensional. Okay, I know what you're thinking. How do you do that? Well, we do it by drawing and shading, okay? So go ahead and turn that page from space. And you're gonna split this paper that's left here in half. Okay, we're gonna do 1-point perspective at the top and 2-point perspective at the bottom. Don't get frustrated. This is the hardest part. I will help you fix this when I come back. Okay, so I'm gonna put 1 dot right here in the middle. Then I'm gonna draw a square, rectangle, rectangle, kind of in these 4 corners, okay? Now, this will feel a lot like how we did 3D letters, except for all the corners go back to this vanishing point. So these 3 corners here are going to go back to this vanishing point. So watch how I do this. Okay, no need for a ruler. It doesn't have to be perfect. Now, on this one, it's above my point, my 1 point perspective. So I'm going to use these 3 corners coming to my 1 point. Boop. I think in elementary school, a lot of you guys did these projects where you like did your name, maybe. Okay, so again, it's the 3 corners. Now, if I add this corner in, it's just going to look like I can see through my box, which can be a little confusing. So that's okay. We can do all 4 on this one. You see how it looks like I'm looking through that top box now? Okay, and then let's push ourselves a little bit. And on this one, let's make it not go all the way back. So I'm going to start here, and then I'm going to add a parallel line. So this line is horizontal. So that line will be horizontal. This line is vertical. Vertical again. And then I'm going to erase out those lines that go back to that 1 point perspective. You've got those erasers in the middle of your table if you need them. Boom. There's our 1 point perspective, our 1 point perspective. Yay. Okay, now we're going to do 2 point perspective. Feel free to pause the video if everybody is lost right now. You've got this. You can watch the video again on your own if you want to try again. Okay, 2 point perspective. 2 points, opposite sides. Boom, boom. I'm going to draw a line in the middle. This looks like a video game, like Pong. Now, this corner comes over here, and this one goes here, okay? So watch how I do this. I'm drawing lightly. Doing the same thing over here. Okay, and then I'm going to add some vertical lines to kind of make a box. Vertical line, vertical line. You notice how these 3 lines are all parallel. Same direction. You can erase out these ones. Kind of looks like a city corner. Maybe you did that project in elementary school. Okay, let's make a little window. So I'm going to add a vertical line here. Remember, these 2 go here. And then another vertical. So you should notice this line and this line goes back to that vanishing point. I forgot to tell you that. These are called vanishing points. Okay, if you're struggling with that first part, keep trying to figure it out. Keep looking at the example up here on the board. If you're like easy peasy, let's add a chimney. Vertical line here. Now this is confusing because it's on this left side, but this part is going to go over here to this vanishing point. And this one's going to go here. And then we're going to add some vertical lines. Now we've got a little chimney. Okay, that's just bonus if you're like really rocking it out at 2 point. If you don't get there, no big deal. Okay, so make sure you've got an example of a 1 point and 2 point perspectives. Again, you guys are doing great. We're making our way through this packet. Pause it if everyone is stuck. Turn your page. This is texture. Texture is how something would feel if you could touch it. There's real texture, like I feel the table and it's soft. I feel my hair and it's fluffy. And then there's implied texture where we try to draw stuff to look like it has texture. Okay, so we're all gonna try to draw fluffy texture and scratchy texture. Now, is this actual texture I can feel on my paper? No. So these 2 boxes are called implied texture. These 2 are going to be real texture. Okay, for our implied texture, how would I draw fluffy? I don't know, this is feeling kind of fluff it up. How did you draw fluffy? It can be different than how I drew mine. It looks kind of soft. How would scratchy texture look? So that's my scratchy texture. So I can't actually feel the texture there. Okay, so try those 2. Okay, next up, we're gonna talk about real texture. Now, this is a textured piece of mesh. Do you guys see that? Okay, we're gonna do what's called a texture rubbing. So I'm gonna tuck it underneath my paper. You guys are gonna be going around the room, and then I'm going to use my colored pencil kind of on the side to get that real texture rubbing happening. Okay, other good things around the room that you can use. These are the cages that we store work in. This is the brick wall. There's keyboards around the room. So when the substitute says that you can get up, we're gonna go a table at a time to get our real texture filled in. Okay, so now would be a good time to pause the video if you're playing it so that everyone can get their real texture put in. And you're gonna fill in both boxes. Real texture, we used a texture rubbing. Implied texture, we drew it. Makes sense, right? All right. Next up, we've got value. Y'all are experts in value. It's a beautiful thing. So we're gonna go from light to dark, creating this beautiful little value scale. You guys have already done this before. So let's start with our mid-tone values. This is kind of like our medium pressure. It can go outside the box, remember? Okay, then I'm gonna go one lighter. So I'm not pushing down as hard. I'm gonna go all the way to my darkest dark next. Okay, I'm going both directions. I'm pushing down really hard. It should be so dark, it's shiny. And then that one in between. Make sure it looks like it is in between. Okay, so that's our value scale. Again, you guys are experts. Pause the video if you need to, if we need more time. And we're on to our last page here, which is drawing forms. Yay. All right, let's start with a sphere. So start by drawing a circle right here. And then we're gonna draw a shadow, which is gonna be a flattened out circle. Okay. Our shadow goes our darkest dark. And then our light source is here, so it's gonna be really light right here. I'm gonna rock my pencil back and forth. I can use my eraser to clear out that highlighted area. Okay, so I just took a circle, which was a shape. I added value to it, and now it looks like a form. It looks three-dimensional. Very cool. Okay, let's try a cone next. Draw a triangle with a rounded bottom. Okay, light source is here, so shadow goes opposite. Shadow goes dark. Now this side and down here are gonna be the darkest. And then I'm gonna get lighter as I get closer to my light source. Okay, so that's how I do my cone. Cylinder, circle, or kind of an oval at the top, straight lines down, curved bottom, light source. Goes opposite, shadow goes dark. Dark along here and here. And it's light at the top. Okay, our last one is a cube. We're gonna start with a box facing towards us. It's a square. I've got my parallel diagonal lines. And then remember, this is horizontal, this is vertical. Okay, our light source is here, so our shadow is here. Shadow goes dark. This side goes dark because it's on the opposite side of the light source. This side goes dark to light. You can smudge it around if that's helpful for you. So So you're gonna write this with me. Shape plus value equals form. That's how we get that form. And boom, you just learned about your 6 elements of art. Super proud of you guys. The video is also posted on Canvas, so if you missed a page or a couple steps, go back and rewatch it. Miss you guys.